Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. So, it has been a long time since I've given you guys another one of my written Japanese journals, which for those of you that are a little bit confused, I don't mean Japanese as in I'm speaking in Japanese or that I am Japanese, but that this is my life in Japan, dealing with Japanese people, Japanese life, etc. Not necessarily language, although I won't lie, that is actually a goal of mine. I plan to eventually do journals in Japanese because I want to improve on my speaking. But that is a whole nother story, and because obviously most of my audience is native English speakers, it doesn't really make sense to do videos in Japanese because then I have to have my boyfriend or someone else help me with adding subtitles so that they're not messed up, because if I were to do it myself, it's either going to be all in, hiragana, or I'm gonna not know words for stuff. And to be totally honest, I mean, obviously I can't express myself as easily in Japanese as I can in English. I don't consider myself to be fluent, although I theoretically am a little bit, but no, I'm not. So, back on subject. There's a lot to catch you guys up on, and to be honest, I'm not gonna bother to do that. If you are a patron, you already know what's been going on in my life. Long story short, I work multiple jobs, and I will not say which ones I'm complaining about, which ones I am, whatever. If you follow me on all of my social media accounts and you've been following me for a while, you've probably gotten to the point where you know what job I'm talking about when I say what. So, anyway, off of my whole thing about that, let me say the obvious disclosures, because I know that some, is going to come to my channel, as you guys always do. I literally had someone, and I know that you're still here because you love me so much. You want to lick my clit. I forgot your username, but whoever that girl was that was commenting on my video that I made talking about why I can't shut the fuck up, and she's like, oh, you're so negative, blah blah, you never stop to think maybe it's you, blah blah blah. And so I'm thinking girl, get your broke ass here, get yourself a degree, and live here for a few years, and then you tell me what I'm doing wrong. But long story short, this goes without saying. I've literally said this in my comment section on some of these videos. This is a journal. What is a journal? A journal is when you write or talk about how you actually feel. The reason why I have this here is because I can't say this stuff in real life. No, it's not entirely because I'm just a bitch, but it's because I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna lose my job and say what's really on my mind to people's face. So, the purpose in this is both to give you insight on what it's like to work and or live or date in Japan, as well as a release for me to say how I really feel. I would think that would be obvious. If you find what I'm saying to be negative, whatever, once again, if you get your head out of Japan's ass and you actually lived here, you would find a lot of these things that seem so little. You're like, oh, get over it, you're in Japan, you're in another country, blah, blah, blah. No, you would feel the exact same way that I do, if not worse. And as I've said before on Twitter, which if you're not following me there, please do. I need more Twitters. What do you call people to follow you on Twitter? I need more Twitters. But that sounded so weird. Okay, anyway, let's just forget that I ever said that. I hate saying followers because every platform says that, but anyway, I've said this before there, and I forgot what I was saying. I'm not editing this crap. We're gonna leave it as it is. It'll come to me later. Long story short, yeah, it's kind of, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Crap, I should have written it down. Okay. I just don't have time for constantly explaining myself. If you don't like what I have to say, like I said, you come here, you live here for several years, and then you tell me that what I'm saying. Oh, that's what I was talking about. If you were to join any group, especially Facebook groups where you're dealing with, expats or whatever, people that have been living in Japan for a minute, where there's people that are married, going to school, working, whatever, you will see that they complain about the exact same stuff that I do, and even more stuff. In fact, they complain about stuff that I'm like, girl, really? So, yeah, if you think that I'm somebody that complains you think that I'm a bitch, that I can solve all my problems, you don't ever want to come here. You don't ever want to join those groups, because you'll see that everything that I've been saying is going to come full circle. You're going to be like, oh, Ren isn't that crazy. Other people feel the same way. So, and even worse, I've seen people complain about little stuff where I'm like, why does that matter? So, and that's how I know some of you guys feel. You're like, oh, why did she care? Why are you still in Japan then? And I've already answered all that stuff too. It's You can like a country and not kiss its ass through everything that it does. I don't hate America, but I don't love it either. There's lots of problems with it. I have lots of problems with their people. I have lots of problems with their laws, their rules, the way that I was treated. But it doesn't mean that I hate the USA. And the same thing goes for Japan. And so I've complained more about America when I lived in America than I did about Japan. But of course, the excuse people give, oh, if you don't like it, then why don't you leave? And I've already answered this whole question thing too. Like, if that's the case, there'd be no minorities in the US, because look at how horrible white people treated us. Yet we still stayed. What did we do? We fought for our rights. We tried to make things better. And we're still doing that to this very day. Okay, why can't that be done with Japan? And then people want to try to compare it to the Middle East. This is not the Middle East, and you are aware that places in the Middle East have had changes take place. Why? Because activists, protesters, etc. have fought for change. People have died, have been imprisoned, all kind of stuff. Now, thankfully, Japan is a first world country, and you don't have to necessarily go through those types of extremities or whatever, but you get my point. I'm not going to get into all of that crap with you. If you're watching this video, you clicked on it, you should already kind of have an idea as to what it's going to be about. It's a journal. This isn't supposed to be a sugar-coated, everything's perfect, la la land, whatever. And these journals are pretty much strictly complaints. So they're not, oh, today was such a beautiful day. I picked cherry blossoms with my boyfriend. We, had, matcha on the beach. Like, no, it's not that type of thing. So anyway, I just spent 10 minutes explaining my videos because I know somebody's gonna send me a message or leave a comment down below. Like, oh, why does it care? Or why does it matter? Blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, let's get into the good stuff. You guys are going to have a lot of catching up to do because you don't follow me on Patreon. You're not a patron, and yes, I am trying to get patrons by talking about this. But I'm done telling you all everything. You want to know my secrets? You want to know how I do stuff? You want to know where I'm at? You gotta subscribe. And that does cost money. But, back on subject. Because, of course, all of you guys aren't going to pay money. Some of you guys are broke. That's why you're watching my videos. And that's cool. But just know you're not going to get to know everything about me. So, I'm really good at recording this already. Like, my leg hurts. Okay, I don't know what to talk about. What was I gonna say? Oh, I've been having the craziest past couple of weeks, you guys. So what I want to complain about or talk about today, I have seriously gotten to the point where I don't know if I hate my nationality more or my age more at this point. Because I'm so tired of both of them. And even beyond that, even what I went to school for. So basically, I had to move to a different department within my company, but temporarily. I'm taking someone else's place. And it has just been crazy. So I have 2 weeks. I'm done with the first week. I've been doing summer school, and it has just been driving me crazy. So everything's pretty much cleared up as of today. But I feel really weird, and I tried to make things right. So let me just get into it. Long story short, I have assistant teachers. So I am the teacher. I'm basically the boss. What I say we do, you help me, you do whatever I tell you to do, basically. But I don't like telling people what to do. I'm, a really nice person. I'm a pushover by nature. It's just not in me to do that. And so even although it is my job, and I can do what the other teachers do. Because see, normally how it works is the native teachers, they don't do any dirty work. So taking out the trash, taking the kids to their bus, taking the kids to daycare, anything that involves cleaning, changing diapers, whatever, they don't touch. And so for me, it's well, my job is to sit on my ass and tell other people what to do. I'd rather help. And I would like it if my boss did the same thing for me. Now, mind you, I say boss, but there's limitations here. I cannot actually hire and or fire people at this particular job. The job in which I do handle hiring, I just hire. I do not fire. I'm basically a recruiter, but that's a different company from this job. So just hope you guys understand, because it gets messy. So, yeah. One of the girls has been there for a really, really long time, but everybody's been there longer than me because I'm the new kid, on the block or whatever. I'm new to the company. And so she's Indian, and she speaks, Japanese very fluently. She has an accent, but she's at a near native level as far as her, not accent goes, but as far as her, knowledge of the language goes. Now, I don't know her writing ability, and I know it's not up that high, but I imagine that it's, pretty good too. Long story short, she has a really hard time following anything that I tell her to do, And I noticed that we we butt heads or whatever you want to call it. And we even got into an argument. So the other day, mind you, this is only for 2 weeks, so there's not a lot of time to figure out how to do things, etc. But apparently it was normal for them to give an update on how often students pooped and how much of their food they ate if they had a school lunch. Which to me is kind of doing too much, but I also get it at the same time, so no complaints. And this is kind of a normal thing in Japan, but again, I feel like it's kind of doing too much. And I've never had to do this before at an international school. So, and mind you, the tuition at my current company is so expensive that the parents are generally very bougie. They have very high standards. So I don't mind so much about the parent side of it, but what made me upset is when I told her, I told my assistants, we're not keeping track of lunches or poop anymore. And she, spazzed. She was like, no, the parents are going to ask, well, what do you mean? And so I hate that whenever I tell her something, she insists that I have to be wrong. And she goes around and speaks to someone above me. Which part of me is like, okay, fine, that's cool, whatever. You're just trying to make sure. But the other part is it's insulting. I am your boss, and if I tell you something, fucking do it. And it's not like I'm telling her to jump off a bridge or do something that's going to cost her job. If we are supposed to be keeping track of that, the ball is going to, the buck or whatever stops at me. I'm the one that gets in trouble if we don't have something that we should have had. I'm responsible, not you. So what the hell do you care? And it's not even a matter of her trying to look out for me. She's just so cocky and full of shit. So anything that I do, I won't really say she undermines it, but it's I have to get her approval for it. And it's really weird because she plays the game really well. If I insist on doing something a certain way, she'll agree with it. But she'll be she'll talk really, really fast, and it'll be very obvious that she's irritated. So another thing that we butted heads with was I was telling her that we're a school, we're a company, and our job is not to kiss the parents' ass. You have to draw a line between, being their slave and servant and being a teacher and there to nurture and care for their kids. And so she was basically acting trying to school me. And so she was like, oh, you're going to learn the longer you're here. And she was talking super fast, just like that. And I'm thinking so you're discrediting everything that I just said to you. Unlike you, I went to school to be a teacher. Unlike you, I have experience working for more than one company here. Unlike you, whatever you want to call it, I've never seen this shit before, ever in my life. And so it's not to say that just because I haven't seen it that something's wrong. But it's no, that's just common sense. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You can't let parents decide what your rules are going to be or make it where, if a parent complains, then we have to change and offer this. Or if 2 parents complain, then we have to do this because then they'll switch to another school. They'll find something else they don't like that'll make them leave and go to another school. Are you trying to be a school or are you just looking for money? And so, of course, they ultimately want both. And they're mainly in it for the money. But you know what I mean. And so I'm thinking, no, you guys are causing your own problems. Everyone at the school jokes and talks about how bougie the parents are and about how, bad things are, blah, blah, and how hard they are on the teachers. But it's no, you guys made it that way. Because anytime a parent says or wants something, you will do it. You never say, oh, that's not in our policy, oh, we don't do this, or, let's check with the teacher. Instead, it's, oh, let's freak out, let's accommodate the parent, let's apologize, let's, kiss and lick their boots type thing. And so I'm not telling them, to be rude or, ignore parents, but you have to be reasonable. Don't let them run you. So the other thing that really made me upset is that she made such a big deal about doing everything in order based off of the schedule that the parents were given for summer school. Which again, it does make sense in a way because we told them we were going to do this at this time, we should keep it that way. But to be honest, it's come on, parents don't care if these kids are coloring at 10 a.m. or if they color at 2:30 p.m. It doesn't make a difference to them. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They're sending their kids here to learn English and to get them out of their hair and so that they can legally, be able to go to work without leaving their child at home alone to fend for themselves and potentially hurt or kill themselves or other people. And with that said, that's our only real job. The parents do not care about what time recess is, whether we do circle time or not, etc. Well, that's the part that got me. So, she would be so upset if we missed circle time and didn't have enough time to do that, or if we changed the order of when stuff was done. So for example, I wanted to move circle time to the end of the day, and really we were supposed to be doing it twice, but the way that this goes is the kids have a 2-hour nap, a 1-hour lunch, and two 30-minute snacks. So they have a fruit time, lunch, then another snack, and then a 2-hour nap. So that right there is what, 2, 3, I can't do math. That's like 4 hours out of their day right there alone. Not to mention their 55 minutes for gym time, and they're supposed to have changes throughout the day, which generally take about 15-20 minutes by itself. So it's like, yeah, like it's not possible to do all of these things separate. So we got to the point where we like combine their fruit time with their lunch time, and then they will have nap, which she was the one who came up with this idea. But then it's like, okay, then if I want to change the order for something, then it's like, oh no, we should really stick to this for the parents. And then the part that like really got me and made me so upset was she had this weird thing in her mind where it was like, anytime we do any type of craft, it's really important for us to make sure that it looks messy so that the parents don't feel like we did it, and so it looks like the kids did it themselves. And I'm like, I'm not trying to pretend like the kids made this whole craft by themselves. It's obvious that I'm the one that cut out the pieces and that I'm the one that folded it, because I did these really elaborate books from the take home at the end of each week of summer camp, or summer school as they call it, that basically recaps what we learned and what the theme was for that week. And so it really made me upset because I spent so much time working on them. When I was gone making more copies, I know that she like instructed the kids to do this, or she did it herself. She was literally having them just scribble, like not even on the part she's supposed to color, just so that it looks like we didn't do it. And like had them put stickers and stuff just like all over the place to make it look messy and kiddie. And it's like the parents are not even thinking that hard. They're glad that we put so much thought into it. They're glad that their child got to color, got to enjoy art, and they're looking at what they learned, etc. You're thinking too much. Nobody's asking you to do this. Calm the fuck down. Quit making up rules. And even if you've had a parent complain about that, okay, one parent out of how many? And again, the goal isn't to say, oh look, your child did this whole book by themselves. We made a nice book. We talked about what's in the book. And there was an opportunity for your child to color and paste things. That's it. I didn't say they made the whole book themselves. I didn't say they folded the pieces together and cut it by themselves. That was never said. So she just like, she aggravates me so much. And so I've been trying my best not to get angry at her. Because the other thing is too, it's like, I really just want to say like, look, I'm the head teacher. And like I just said to you guys, like, the buck, it stops, falls at me. Like if something goes wrong, I'm in trouble. I even let her take them outside, during this heat wave, which was extremely dangerous, might I add. And a couple of the kids went there about to have a heat stroke and pass out. I had to hold them. They were crying. It was really, really crazy, really, really messy. And so, yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, like I do stuff that you want to do, with no hesitation, even although you're not the teacher. But then it's like if I want to do something and she's really questionable about everything, she has to go and talk to 5 other people. She acts like it's the end of the world. She goes really crazy over it, and it just aggravated me so much. She's not here this week, which made me feel really, really happy. It's like, such a relief. I did apologize to her because like we literally like kind of got into it, because I was explaining to her, I was like, as a school, you have to draw the line and say that this is what we will do, this is what we will not do. And so she would not budge. She was like, no, like you're gonna learn from being here. You'll see. And it's like, no, you guys are the only one. Excuse me, you guys are the only ones doing this, because on my floor, they don't even do that. You guys are putting up a crap that the other teachers don't do. And you guys started this vicious cycle of helicopter moms because you've encouraged them to be that way, because you've let them know, oh yeah, anything you say, we're gonna do. We're gonna jump to it. We're going to pretend like it's a big deal because you made one, instead of being like, okay. I literally had a mom complain to me because her fucking son got a goddamn mosquito bite. How the fuck do you even know that it happened while they were in my care? That was the dumbest shit. I'm not even kidding you guys. I literally like had to take a step back mentally because I wanted to like pull up my pants leg and be like, do you see all of this shit? I'm allergic to mosquito bites too. And I have O-type blood. They love me. I have bites all over my legs, all over my arms. I had them on my face even. And so of course I can't say that, but I was like, well, we gave him sunscreen. We gave him, bug spray, mosquito repellent, whatever. I'm sorry, man. like what else are we gonna do? Instead, they'll freak out, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll buy better bug sprayer. We'll make sure that we spray him down and have him wear long sleeves, and we'll give him a hat too. It's like, chillax, calm down. You freaking out, you making a big deal, you being apologetic while you think it's good customer service. This is not a customer-based job. You're a teacher. This is a school. Of course, because it's a private school, you do want to have a more personal relationship, and you want to, try to keep and gain students. But again, you have to draw the line between being nice and being taken advantage of, and make sure that there's boundaries as a school, because there have to be rules. And so there's like so many little things that like I'm leaving out, but these are like the things that irritated me the most. So like I really hated like that little like whatever situation that we had where she disagreed with me about handling parents basically complaining about, I guess, anything or whatever, or having requests, which again, requests are fine as long as they're being asked nicely. But I hated that like even if I try to do something, she'll ultimately do it, but she'll go around me and ask other people, oh, is it okay if we do this? Or try to get their input, etc. And then it's like, girl, like, I'm making your job easier for you. I'm not the one that has to do this. So when they go to the bathroom, they're changing them most of the time. I choose to help every once in a while, but that's on you. If you want to go and tell the parents when they pick up their kid who pooped, who ate, whatever for lunch, be my guest. But I'm not doing that because they told me that I don't have to. Why do I want to make my job harder? If a parent asks me, sure, I'll go get the list and see what you guys wrote. But I'm not going to be sending individual emails out, which that's not even your job. So I was like, why did you even get so frustrated over that? So like, again, like I said, I apologized to her just to, keep the peace or whatever. She claimed that, it was not a big deal and that she understands and that she misunderstood because she spoke to the principal or the assistant principal and she found out that I was right, of course, because why the hell would I lie about this? That I was right about not having to do that. But apparently this was something new and she's been there for a long time and they've always sent emails telling the parents exactly who pooped, who ate, whatever, every single day. Which I get that's fine. But again, it's not even just going around me, it's the way that she did it. And then like what made me so upset, like, on top of all of that, was the fact that it's like, I really, really, really hate this. Because it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be the teacher. Like, what is the purpose in me being the head teacher if we're gonna just go based off of how long people have been here? Because it's not the way that it works in the real world. I understand that you feel like you should have my job. I know it's unfair because she runs circles around me in Japanese and I basically only have my position because of my country of origin, not even my degree necessarily. Yes, it did help me. Yes, it got me a higher, salary based on that, but it wasn't necessary. No matter how hard she works, her salary will forever be half of mine. And she'll never have the authority or ability to control what happens or goes on because she's not the head teacher, because she's not a native English speaker, which sucks. But again, that's life. That's the way that it goes. And I wanted to say that so bad. I was thinking, like, if you don't want to work under me, maybe you're at the wrong company then. Because you're always going to be, somebody's bitch, so to speak. And I hate to put it that way. But the guy, that normally teaches the class, who I'm replacing, he's a real jerk. And so I'm thinking, like, I've been really, really nice. Anything that I do, like, I act like I'm working with them. Like, I have an intern right now. And so she didn't even know that, like, I was the teacher because I was so busy asking them, like, how do they normally do stuff? And, basically asking if things are okay with them because I like running things over with them. And I do, have respect for them because they were here before me. But I hate that when my, kindness or niceness or whatever gets mistaken for weakness. And then it's like they run right over you. And so now it's like, oh, okay, I can tell her what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. Or I can suggest this and she'll do it type thing. And so like even, for recess or whatever, I was trying to, get them to go outside more or whatever because she expressed to me that they really need to run around and do active stuff. Otherwise they'll have difficulty when it comes to nap time. And so I didn't really care because nap time doesn't affect me. I'm taking my break during that time and I'm getting together arts and crafts. But out of respect for, my assistants, I tried to make sure that I implemented activities that got them really, really busy and energetic and running around before they had lunch and then, obviously go and take their nap. So, I'll live. This video is getting too long. But long story short, I just feel so aggravated because it's like, I hate having my position in the way. Because I don't like telling people what to do, but it does feel good at the same time to be able to choose what everyone does. But the downside is that it's like, okay, if I do things the way I really want, then I look like a bitch. because I want to do things my way and I'm so certain about it, even although I'm new. The other part of it is if I don't do things my way and I let them do things their way, if anything goes wrong or is inadequate, I get in trouble for it. So for example, that day that we went to the park, they weren't supposed to have gone outside, and they never spoke to me, but I technically took the heat for it, I'm pretty sure, because I highly doubt that she said, oh, that was my idea. They actually had a tour planned for a visitor that was supposed to have been there, and they didn't know where we were, and it turned out that we were at the park, and it made the staff really upset, the office staff, because it was embarrassing. They had scheduled a tour for someone to come see our class, and we weren't even in there. And they're not going to walk all the way to the park to see what we're doing. And that's not class anymore. That's free play. So it made me really upset. And so, of course, she didn't tell me what happened with that. But it looks like it's my idea because it's my class. If one of them gets injured, hurt, harmed, anything happens to them, kidnapped, killed, I am responsible because I am the teacher. They're not going to turn to her and be like, oh, look, what happened? You're supposed to be assistant. No. They're going to look at me because I was the boss. I was the one in charge at the moment. And so I hate to say that because I don't mean it in a cocky way, even though it comes out that way. But I'm just being real. Unfortunately, if you wanted to be the head teacher, you kind of have to be American. You kind of needed a degree in something teaching related. And number 3, being young is kind of preferred too. But I'm thinking like, that's not, my fault or whatever. If you don't like being under people, you probably shouldn't be applying for the position that you have. I know that she'll never quit it because she's really grateful for it. It's hard to find assistant positions, especially when you're not Japanese. And then on top of that, they're really being cheated because they're required to have a near native fluency, a near native level of Japanese, and to also be, basically native fluent in English in order to even get a job at these international schools most of the time, which is really wrong. So I know that she's more deserving of a higher salary than I am, but that's not her position. So I really hate that. It's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Either I can do stuff that I don't want to do and keep my mouth shut to, keep the peace, or I say what I want and then I'm a bitch to everybody. So that's that. I guess I'm done. It's just, that's just really what on my mind. It's killing me so much lately. I can never decide what I want to do. One part of me says, lay the hammer down, as my brother says, and say, no, like, I'm the teacher. This is what we're going to do. And then the other part of me says, oh, be nice, let them decide, this is their class, you can do what you want with your class, once school starts back up. But it's like, I'm the teacher for this class for right now. I don't care how the previous teacher did it. I don't care what you're used to doing. I am the teacher now. I don't care what you guys used to do. Stop. She's like the little bitchy know-it-all kid that you have like in class or whatever, where she constantly has an idea, constantly has an input or opinion. And I think it's a cultural difference too, because let's just say I've had problems with people's... We ain't finna go there. Anyway, long story short, I just feel so aggravated, like I said, because I can't say anything without seeming like a bitch. And I did kind of say something, and it came out as me being a bitch. And at least I did the right thing. I apologized, wiped the slate clean, so to speak. But of course, I know deep down inside, she probably doesn't like me, feels like I'm whatever. But it's like, well, imagine how I feel. Like, you've been trying to run my classroom the whole time that you've been there. So I'm glad she's not here for the second week. She's very, very, very helpful in class as an assistant, but she's also very annoying and very by the rules. So if you break any rule, you do something incorrect, she will be very vocal about it. She will tell you, and she might even go around you and tell someone else. And I don't like that. I don't want to work with somebody like that. And then the hypocrisy in all of this is she oftentimes comes up with ideas of doing stuff that not only goes around the rules, but that straight out, flat out breaks them. And she has no problem even talking like this to people that are, higher up than her, not just me, but even above me. She was telling the assistant principal that he was wrong about the rules as far as recess goes, because if it's a certain temperature outside, they're not allowed to have outdoor recess, which I don't think we had these laws in America growing up. Maybe things have changed, but they're really concerned about the kids passing out. And yes, the heat here is completely different from anything I've ever experienced in Chicago, but Chicago isn't really known for being that hot, but it does get hot during the summertime, but it ain't that humid after being in Japan. So I guess I'm done. Like I said, I have so much more that I can say about her and about this. I'll make other videos, but I've pretty much gotten everything off my chest and off of my mind at the moment. So I need prayer, you guys, because I almost completely went off on her and told her exactly how I felt. And that's like what really kills me. Like I said, I hate having to like downplay my experience, not just work-wise, but even my education, to try to make other people feel better and be happy. Because if I, correct someone and be like, well, actually, I learned this, or actually, I've done this before, or I went to school for this, then I come off as being a cocky bitch. But it's okay for you to basically try to school me and be like, oh, you're young, you don't have any teaching experience, you've only worked at one place, blah, blah. And so it's like, sweetheart, I've been at several different companies. And I've been teaching before I had an actual degree. Thank you very much. And on top of that, I never act like I know everything just because I have those things. Because I know I don't. I'm always learning. And I wish you would do the same. But unfortunately, most people aren't like that. Instead, I say something, about myself, talk about, hey, actually I have this, or actually I've done this before. I just seem like a rude bitch. But it's okay for them to pat themselves on the back and talk about how long they've been here and about their little, garbage certificate that they have. So, I'll live, I'll survive. And I guess I am done complaining. So what's your thoughts? What would you guys do? Do you say, let them do what they want to do, don't stress over it, it's not going to be your class? Or would you say, no, I want to do things a certain way, we're going to do it that way? So I've kind of been doing a mixture of both. Like I've been helping out so much that now they've gotten used to me helping, and I kind of don't like this. So like now they act like they can't change all the kids' diapers by themselves because I started I started, helping out. When I know that the regular teacher does not do that at all. He normally leaves it to the assistant staff, which I think the school likes too, because there's been problems with the foreign staff touching the kids. I ain't even kidding. We'll get into that later. I can't prove anything. A little bird told me, and I believe because of the people involved. So that's that, you guys. I'm done. I promise. I'll make another video. Yeah. Goodbye.